I'm about 45 minutes late, and I apologize. I was recording my tip video for this week. It's actually 60 ways to visualize time. So it took me a lot longer than I was expecting, and I didn't realize what time it was. So again, my apologies. Let's go ahead and get started with today's Makeover Monday. I'm going to go to the Makeover Monday website and go to the Data tab. When I scroll down, I'll see the latest data set for this year. I'll see the latest data set for this week, actually. I'm going to click on food inflation rates in the UK. And we see we have the cost of living for food. Now, it's been kind of crazy around here lately in the last year and a half. It's really caused a lot of problems in the UK and around the world, I guess, as well. The politicians, of course, keep blaming it on other things instead of trying to get cost under control. If you have any comments during this, please leave them in the window, and I will do my best to follow along with those comments. It's sometimes hard for me to see them, but let me see if I can. I'm going to try to bring that up. So just give me 1 second. And block. Hopefully this is moving. There we go. Okay, so on YouTube, feel free to leave comments. I can see them in the chat now. And then also on LinkedIn, you should be able to leave me some comments on there as well. So again, I apologize. I did not realize what time it was, but hopefully you found it. Hopefully you find this this video I've got coming up this week. Thank you for those that responded to the poll. Okay, so yeah, let's get going. Okay, joining from India. Happy morning. Happy morning. I've never heard anybody say happy morning. Yeah, all right, so good. It looks like everybody can hear me okay, so I'll keep going. So really simple line charts. We are focused on the this one here and then this one here. These are the two charts that we have data for. I wonder why my selector there is doing a I wonder why it's doing a circle instead of a rectangle. Huh. Okay, that's weird. Annotate. Okay, I'm not quite sure why it's doing a circle instead of a, let's see. Okay, here we go. So I change it, there we go. So now we should have a rectangle. Okay, that's better. All right, sorry about that. Okay, so let's just hop right into it. So I'm gonna connect to the data and let's go to more. And then where do I have this saved? Makeover Monday, data, 2023. And then food inflation. Okay, let's drag in the food inflation sheet. And then we also have restaurant and cafe inflation. So if I go back over here, we'll see we have this one here is food inflation, and this one over here is restaurant and cafe inflation. So I want to bring those both into the same data source. So I'm going to drag restaurant and cafe inflation. And let's see, what's the best way for me to do this? Yeah, I'm going to double click on food inflation and make it a join. So restaurants and cafes, let's drag that over to the right. And I want to join by date. So I'm going to make it a full outer join. That way, in case some of the dates exist for one data source and not for the other, I don't lose anything. Okay. So there we go. And I've got two date fields, so I'm just going to hide one of them. And I'm going to just try to rebuild these original visualizations. I think these are like super, super useful. I think they're really well done. Okay, morning from Chicago, Dallas. Hi, Kobe. Okay. And we've got a couple people on YouTube, but it looks like we've got more people watching on LinkedIn. By the way, is this a good time for you all? If I usually do 3:30 UK time, but hopefully this time, it's a time that works for me, but I could move it maybe an hour one way or the other. Okay, so I'm going to try to just rebuild these charts. I like how they're small, nice and easy to understand. So let's start there. So we're going to start with, we're going to right click and drag our date field to the columns. And I'm just going to pick date continuous so I get every date. Let's make this bigger. and I'm going to drag food inflation to the rows. All right, and we get something like their original visualization. They have a nice little dot on the end. So to do that, I'm going to click on the label shelf, and I'm going to choose the most recent option. Click on Show Mark Labels, and there we go. So 17.4. So this is July of 2023. So why is my data slightly different? Oh, okay. My data only goes through June. So they've got one more month worth of data. Okay. So that looks pretty good. And we're looking at percent change over 12 months. So I can rename this. And their data they're only showing the labels for the beginning and end of the date series. So we've got October of 2012 and June of 2021. All right. So let's right click on the date field and choose format. And I want to make it look like their dates as well. So they have three letters for the month, and then a dash, and then 2 for the year. So let's go into dates, and I'm going to choose custom. I'm going to do MMM-YY. So that should give me those dates. Okay, that looks good. And then I want to edit my axis because I just want to show the start and the end. So I'm going to set it to a fixed axis. My start is going to be, it's not letting me pick a date. That's great. It should let me pick a date here. Okay, looks like the calendar's not working. So I'm going to do 01/10/2012. And then my end is going to be, actually, I'm going to make it, let's see, how can I do this? I don't think this is going, okay, I'm going to have to try something because this is kind of cutting off the view. Shoot. Okay, let me just keep going. So then the end is what I say, June, I think it was June. So 01, actually let's do it 30/06/2023. And then let's make this one, so fixed start. Okay, so that's okay. Oh, this one should have been June, so I don't know why it's doing October. Maybe I typed it wrong. And then in tick marks, I want to make it fixed. I want my origin to be June 1st, so 01/06/2012. Okay, now this is where I'm going to do a bit of math in my head. So months, so we have, what, 11 years. So let's say month, oops. See, so I want to do months between two dates. And that should just bring up, what's it not bringing up? Okay, I would think that would bring up a Google search, but it didn't. Okay, date calculator. Okay, let's just try this. No, that didn't help. So let's say months between two dates. Probably could have figured it out in my head by now. Because there we go. So we want to look at, so a start date is 01/06/2012, and then our end date is 01/07. Wait, I'm getting my data mixed up here. 01/06/2023, and this one should be 10. Sorry, that should be 10. I think that's right now. And then I want to calculate duration. So, okay, that didn't help very much. Let me go back to Tableau. So my first date here, so this is October 12th, and this is June 23rd. Okay, so I need to edit my axis again. This should be 10. Right, so we need to now look at our labels. So our tick marks, we want to start at the 10th, October 10th, and we want to go, how many months is that? So 2023, so that'd be 11 years is 11 times 12 is 121 minus 6 is 115. Let's try that. It doesn't let me do. Oh, great. It doesn't let me do 115 months. It only lets me do 100. How stupid is that? Well, that's annoying. Okay, so I'm going to do this a different way. So I'm going to leave that as automatic. I'm going to edit my axis and give myself a bit of room again. Actually, I'll just make it automatic. I'm going to switch back. So what I'm going to do now is instead, I'm going to actually put in a reference band. So reference band, let's do the table for the dates. I'm going to go from my min date to my max date. I don't want a line. I don't want to fill. But what I do want is a label of the value. No tooltip. The value and no tooltip. Okay, now actually maybe I will put a line on here. Let's see, line. Oops, shoot. Value, let's make it, let's just do a dotted line, maybe something light colored. Okay, so now let me click on this again and let's format and let's align the dates to the middle. Set the shading to 100%. And let's make the font maybe, something bigger. No, let's leave it alone. Okay, so now if I hide my header, it now looks like I have that axis like they have in the original, right? So, okay, so let's continue to do a bit of formatting then, and I'm going to get rid of my grid lines. My 0 line looks like it's a solid line, and a bit. Let's see. We want a 0 line for the rows, a bit thicker, and maybe a bit lighter. And then for the columns, we do not want a 0 line. Okay, and then let's go to our axis rulers and get rid of those. And now we've got everything framed nice and neat. That color's fine. And then let's see, so they've got 0, 10, 20. Okay, so let's edit the axis and get rid of the title. Okay, so that's how the first one is going to look. Good evening from Qatar. Good evening. You might be the first person that's ever joined from Qatar. Khaldun, thank you for joining. All right, so Anthony, isn't today a holiday? It is a holiday. And next Monday is a holiday in America. So happy Labor Day. Yeah, so Anthony, I don't know if you saw it, but TABLEAU doesn't let you put in more than 100 months in a range. So that seems kind of short-sighted. But okay, so let me go back here to my 0 lines. I'm going to make them a bit thinner. And I think that's okay now. They just have a tick mark there. So I wonder if there's a way I can do just a tick mark. Actually, I think it's okay. So let's call this one, I'm just going to copy and paste that. And let's make this one, I'll just leave it like that for now. Okay. All right. So I'm going to inspect this page because I want to see what font they're using. So let me pick, and then the font they're using is Open Sans, it looks like. So if I hover over that again, it says Open Sans, and then the subtitles Open Sans 14 and 16. Okay. And then, okay, so 14 and 16 Open Sans. So let me go back over to TABLEAU, and I'm going to format the workbook and change my font to Open Sans. Okay, so that's good. And then, so this one should be 16. Okay, and then bold. And this one should be, boy, that looks smaller than 14 point, doesn't it? So this one should be 14, and then maybe a slightly lighter color. Okay, something like that. I'm probably going to have to fix this when we come back in. Okay, so that's that one. So this is food inflation. Food inflation. Okay, that's good. And then I'm going to duplicate the sheet because the only thing I should need to do here is just swap out the measure. So let's see if that works. And they get that weird spike, which is what we would expect to see. 14.9%. Okay, so the values themselves, if I go back here, this should be in a percentage. Okay, so I need to format both of these numbers. Now, I could either divide them by 100 and then convert to a percentage, but I think for simplicity in this case, I'm going to change the number format to a custom number to 1 decimal. I'm just going to add % sign as a suffix. Okay, so 17.4 and then 9.0. And this one is, okay, so restaurants and cafes. So this one is for restaurants and cafes. And okay, and then this should say restaurant and cafes. If you do want the third data set for, if you do want the third data set, this is available as well in this download. I just didn't include it. Okay. Right. So I think that's okay. And so this one would be, this would be restaurants and cafes. All right. Any questions? Let me just have a quick look. So Nigeria, Austin, Texas. Okay. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Label color should be the same as the line. Okay. Yep. So let me go back here. And if I go back to this, okay, so label color, same as the line. Yep. So I want to go to label and have it match the mark color. And it probably needs to be bold and maybe a bit bigger, something like that. So let's do the same thing here. Let's make it a bit bigger and bold and match the mark color. So now the other thing I can do if I inspect this again is let's see if I can pick out that color on the line. Is there a way for me to look at the color of the line? Let's see. Okay, so RGB is 32, 96, 149. Okay, so let's go color. Actually, let's just go with our own colors. I've been using purple lately, so I'll go with purple. I don't know why I've been using purple lately, but I have been. Okay, so that gives us our 2 charts here. And I'm going to actually just kind of lay these out in the dashboard and see how it looks. So let's create a new dashboard. And I know it needs to be shorter. So let's say it needs to be probably like, I don't know, let's do 400 by, I don't know, let's just try 800 by 400. And I'm going to drop in a container. So I'm going to float that in and then set it to 0, 0. What did I say? 800 by 400, I think. Yep. And then I'm going to add some inner padding. Actually, I think let me leave it like that for now because I'm curious what's going to, no, let's go back. I'm going to add in some inner padding of maybe 10. No, I'm going to do outer padding this time. Okay. And then what I want to do is, oh, the dog's trying to break in. I don't know if you guys can hear. So let's do that. And then I want to drag this one into the same container. Okay. And then let's get rid of the title here. But we need to have these with these gray backgrounds. Okay. So I'm going to click on this first sheet and set the background to maybe a light gray. Oh, but it needs to be for the whole worksheet. Okay, so I need to go to the worksheet here and go to shading and go to sheet. And I want to set the whole worksheet to be gray in the background. Well, that worked well, didn't it? That's really dumb. Why is it not doing the header, the title as well? That's annoying. That's okay. I'll fix that. Actually, no. What I could do is I could set this to none and set this to none. And then in my dashboard, yeah, so in my dashboard, I can go to this sheet, and I think I can now change the background here. There we go. That's what I wanted. Okay, and let's put a border on, maybe a light, slightly darker gray border. And I want to do maybe 10 pixels of inner padding. Oh, that looks good. And then this one, I want to do 10 pixels of inner padding and put a border, same color border. Okay, so we get something like that. And then I need to get rid of the outer padding. No, I want to, let's make that maybe 10 as well. All right, so we get something like that. So let's play around with the title size now. So this should be inflation rates for food and non-alcoholic beverages. Let's just get rid of that. Okay, let's hit apply and see if that fits. All right, so I'm going to make this maybe a smaller size. I think that looks better. And let's make this smaller. And okay, great. Okay, now notice my reference lines that I put in there have this white background now, so I need to format those and get rid of the shading. So I want to get rid of that altogether on both of these. Okay, so how's that now? And then my labels here. Let's see, actually for my reference lines, I'm going to get rid of the lines. Let's see how that looks. Okay, yeah, I think that's okay. But I want to make sure that my label is to the right and to the middle. So let's do the same thing here, to the right and to the middle. And now I've got a bit of overlap. That's fine. So let me, I'm just going to space out the dashboard a bit more. Show header. And then this one, show header. Okay, this will be easier from the dashboard, I think. So I need to move my, so let's make the start automatic, and let's make the end, wow, how's that not enough space? Okay, yeah, there we go. So let's just try 2027. Okay, yeah, so that looks better. And now I can hide the headers again. And my labels, so how do my labels look? Yeah, they're okay. So let's go back here and clean up our tooltips. So let's call this food and alcoholic beverage inflation. Okay. And let's maybe make this a bigger font. Now it looks terrible with the text for this text here. Now it doesn't line up very well, so I need to switch that back to maybe 12. What the hell? 12. Okay, so let me go here and do the same thing. So let's get rid of that. Restaurant and cafe inflation. Let's make this 12, untick that. Okay, so that looks good. Let me go back over here again. Tooltip, non-alcoholic beverage. All right, so now the axis on the left-hand side, if I go back to the original, the axis does not have a percentage on it. Let me see, good morning. Any other questions so far? So no questions. What is this topic about? So Gaurav, if you go to the Makeover Monday website, you will you'll know about it. Let's see. Okay, so another suggestion, do we need to align the 0 axes in both charts? We can do that. That's actually a good idea. So, but what I want to do first is I want to format the axis. And I wonder if I can just make it a number like that. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so that now looks okay. So that looks more like theirs. The only problem now is the tooltips are messed up. So I need to go back in here and I'm just going to manually stick in a percent sign. Right, so we should probably line up the axes. So that's a good idea. So let's say this one needs to go from, let's just say -4 to 24. What's that? Maybe, let's say, okay, -7 to 22. And let's do the same thing here. And now everything should line up nice and neat. So great suggestion there. Thank you for that. Okay, good morning. No other comments on. All right, so I'm keeping an eye on the comments as best I can. Okay, so now the question is, how do we like the size of this? So I could maybe reduce the height and the width, but now it doesn't look very good. So I think I'll leave it the height that we had it before, because now they're both pretty much square. I'm going to shrink the size of the titles. So let's make this one 14. And let's make this maybe 10. So let's make this 14. Let's make this 10. Click it OK. Great. Okay. So I think, oh, so now the axes are messed up again. What the heck happened there? So -7 to 22. So why does this show -5? Isn't that dumb? Okay, so let's fix that. Let's go to edit axis, tick marks, go every 10. Tick marks fixed every 10. Okay, there we go. So now that lines up better. Okay, so I think I like that. So let's see what the phone view looks like now. So I'm gonna unlock the phone view and go to device preview. I always uncheck the TABLEAU mobile. Does anybody actually ever use the TABLEAU mobile app, I wonder? So I'm gonna unpin both of these. And then if I select both of them, I should be able to distribute evenly. And then I want to set the height to be 67, which is the size of a mobile phone usually. Okay, so that looks pretty good. So now we're just basically switching between, let's do like that. That looks pretty good. And I think because I'm so late and you're all on very late, let's see, should I maybe make the lines a bit thinner? Let me just try something here. Let's make the lines a bit thinner. How's that? Is that better? I don't think so. So I'm going to show you a bug here. So if I click on size and if I increase this size, let's say I just make it like that. Let me go a bit farther. And then I go over to the other sheet and click on size. It moved it, even though I didn't change the size on this sheet. Isn't that annoying? I don't know if that's a Mac bug or a bug in general, but it's an annoying bug. Okay, so I do need to go. So I think I'm going to have to call it quits there. I apologize again for being late, but I was recording a video for you for Friday, so hopefully you'll enjoy that. And I think I'm going to leave it at that. So thank you very much for joining. I know it was brief, only about 30 minutes today. About usually I go about an hour and a half, but I really, the reason I am only going this long is, well, first off, because of time, but also when I look at the original visualization, I actually like these. I think they look really good. So there's not really a whole lot of sense in changing them. Oh, actually, I need to put my source in here, don't I? Okay, so now this is going to cause me some problems. So I'm going to need to, what a pain. So let me, this is really, really annoying because now I need to put a vertical container in here. Oh, come on, stupid. This should be 0, 0, 800, 400. And now this container, can we rearrange these? Isn't that, there we go. Okay, so let's drag this into that container. And then I want to bring in a text object at the bottom of the vertical container. And let's make this 8 point. So data source is, I think it's ONS, right? Office for National Statistics. Goodbye. All right, very good. And this now, okay, so this whole, my outer container needs some padding. So let's put maybe 10 pixels of padding on that one. And then this container, we could get rid of the outer padding. So let's set that to 0. But now it looks like there's too much padding around the whole thing. Maybe I should set this to 0. And then this one, I'll add some padding in. Let's make it maybe 10. Okay, there we go. So that's a bit better. And then now if I go back to my phone view and double check how this looks, I need to put my text object in here and drag that down. Okay, so that didn't quite work out, did it? So I need to grab that, my phone, drag in a text object, paste that in. That one, and let's drag this one up a bit. Okay, there we go, something like that. All right, so what's interesting is this now changed the padding on here. So I want to do like 10 pixels of inner padding, and I think I set it to 0 for the outer. No, I don't think I left with that 10 as well. Let's go back here. So this one is set to 10 and 10. Oh, so this one should be 10 and 10. Then this. That looks terrible. Okay, that's a bit better. Now it looks even. At least it looks even around the edges now. And same thing here. So you see I've got a bit more padding around the sides than I do in the middle here. So I'm going to get rid of 5 pixels on the left on this one, and then 5 pixels on the right on this one. Okay, so now that looks even around the view now. So let me go back here, get rid of the device preview. Okay, so I can switch between the two. Looks pretty good. And I think I'm going to switch my line size again. Let's just go back to the tick mark there. Now that time it didn't do it. That's weird. Okay, so the workarounds. Okay, workarounds are useful. Yep, thank you. Thanks for hanging in there. Thank you, Hakeem. That's very nice. Let's see. So Anthony could be a feature, but you still have to click it. So I think it didn't used to do that. So that's why I think it's a bug. But anyway, all right. Thank you, everybody. Have a good rest of your week. And I will talk to you later. Bye.